Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to create one primeng table, and then we are going to bind that column dynamically, and we will add sorting on that dynamic column. So this is a static JSON data I'm going to use in this example, and I will share both the links, this primeng links and this static data links in the description block. So let's start. So first let me open the table here. So we can see this data, and under that data we have table, and let's move to this basic one. So this is a basic table I can see. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to copy all this data, and this is the application I created using Angular CLI, and currently I am on Angular 11. So now let me open this app component.html, and here I am going to replace all that content with the HTML which we copied. So let me save this. Now I'm going to create one interface as a model for our data. So let me give name as album.ts, because we are going to show that album data. So I am giving a name as album, and so let me add the properties for our data. So it's the same properties what we are getting in the our static JSON: album ID, title, URL, and thumb URL. Now next thing is to display the data I need to create one service also, right? So let me generate one service. So I can say like ng, then G for generate, then S for service, and let me give name as album, and I don't want to create any folder, so let me add flat here, and let's generate. So it will take some time. Let's wait for it. So now my service is ready. Let me open this. I can see this service. It's generated using Angular CLI. So now I need to inject HTTP client to make a call to our static API, right? So let me inject this. Okay, so I'm not getting any intelligence for import, so let me import it manually. HTTP client, and it's not from Selenium, it is under the Angular common package. So let me add it as a add Angular common, and then it should be HTTP. Yes, so we have injected our HTTP client. Now I need one method to call our API. So let me create this. Let's give them as a get all albums, and let's define the return type of it. So it should be observable, and observable of the model, right? This is a model. So this model is what data we are getting from API, right? So array of album. Let me copy again this interface name, and let's paste it here and add as array, and also let's import this album. So yeah, let me click on quick fix, and I can import it. Now to get the data from API, I need to call that API, right? So let me say this dot HTTP. Then I can use that get verb. So get, and under the get, I can pass the URL, right? So this is our API URL. So let me copy this and paste it here. And to map this JSON data with this API, I can define the type of this data. So let me define the type. So it is a array of album. So let me define it here, and let's add return statement, and let me add semicolon here. So my method is also ready. Now I need to inject this service to our component, right? So let's go for it. So first to inject, I need a constructor. So let me create a constructor, and now I can inject my service. So let me give name as a private service. Uh, then I can paste my service here, and let's import it. Also, to initialize our data, I need to use that component lifecycle hook. So that's to initialize, we can use on init lifecycle hook. So let me add that interface and then implement it. So let's say implements, and it should be on init, and let's implement this interface. Yeah, now also I need one variable to assign the data, right? So let's say it's albums, and it should be type of album array. And also let's initialize this with the empty. Now I need to assign this albums array from our service. So let me make a call. So I can say like this dot service, and then I can use this get all albums method, and it's a type of observable. So I need to subscribe to it, right? So let's subscribe it, and then I can use this arrow function, and I can assign my albums with this item. So also it's not item, it should be items. So let me rename this, and let's save all these changes. So now we have created our interface to map that API data. We have created our service to call our API, and we have added one variable, and we have assigned that variable uh, from the data which we are getting from service. So now it's time to change our HTML code, what we copied, because we are not going to display this product data what we copied. Instead of that, we are going to display album data. So what was the variable name here I kept? It's albums. So I can copy this name, and here in the value I can say albums. Then here this name should be what are the things we are going to display? Album ID, title, and thumb URL. So let's say album ID, then ID, title, and thumb URL. And also let's change this product to album. So this should be album ID, so it should be album ID. This should be album.id. And this should be album.title. And this should be album.thumb URL. So let me check what we have in the interface. It's thumb URL. So I can copy this and paste it here. So now even our HTML is also ready. But we need a few packages, right, to work this primeng table. So let's add that packages in our package.json file. So if I will go to the basic example in our primeng website. So this is our basic example, and I can open that stackblitz version also. So let me open this version first. So this is a stackblitz example, and here I can open this package.json file. So I need these three packages to continue with my example what I am doing now. So let me copy this and let's go to our project. Let's open package.json file and let's paste it here and save it. And now let's delete this log file, package.log.json file. So let's delete this, and then I'm going to run npm install again. So let's wait to complete this process. So it's failed, it's saying unexpected token. So yeah, I missed to remove this comma. So let me remove this, save it again, and then I can run npm install. And now we have to wait to end this to complete this process. So now our package is successfully installed. So now one more thing we need is we need to add the style in our angular.json file. So let me open our angular.json file. So here we need to add some styles. So let me open this angular.json file also here in the example, and I can see few styles, right? So let me copy this few style from here, and this we can add in our project. So let me paste it here. Let's remove this comma. Now let's add here also, and save all our changes. Now one more step is pending. I need to import the table module in our app module. So let me open this app module, and here let me import. So let me check the import in this example. So we can see this table module from primeng then table. So let me copy this. So now we are done with all our changes. So I can run my application and see if my basic table is ready or not. And then we will change that table to bind the columns dynamically, and we will add sorting for that dynamic column. Let's wait this command to complete. Okay, so I'm getting this error. Angular CDK scrolling is a dependent for primeng table. So we need to import this Angular CDK module also. So let me copy this, and let me open our package.json file, and here we can add this Angular CDK, right? So now let's delete this package.log file, and now run npm install, and let's wait for this command to complete. So my package installation is successful. Now let me try to run this ng server again, and let's see if I'm able to run my uh, Angular application for primeng table or not. So let's wait. So it's compiled successfully. Now I can browse it. So let me click on this, and now I'm not able to see it. So let me open my console. Let's click on F12. So I can open that browser console, and I can see that I'm getting some error. So it's saying null injector for HTTP client. So that's correct, because uh, we need to import one module that's called HTTP client module. So let me import it. Now let me open my browser window. So now I'm not getting any console error, and I can see that I'm able to bind my data, right? So my static data is binded, but let's fix some UI, and instead of showing this URL, let's add image here. So let me make some changes in our HTML. So I'm going to wrap this table under one div, and let's say, so I'm going to wrap my table under this, and here is I want to show image. So let's say img for image, and that source I am getting dynamically. So I can add this expression here. Now save this and now let me go to our browser. So it's loading and now I can see the images. So this is we are able to bind that table with static, right? Now I want to bind it as a dynamic. So let's start for it. Export interface and let me give name as a album schema, and I'm going to add this to property. So header is to display this header and field is for this field. So now we have our schema. So now let me declare one property similar to this albums for the schema. So let me give name as maybe schema, and it will be type of album schema, and let me initialize it and let's import it. So now I have my schema, but I want to get the values, right? So what I'm going to do is now let's make some changes here. Let me add one curly bracket here. Let's keep it again here. So what I want is I want to get the keys of from this items, right? So if items dot length is greater than 0, so I can take any one index, right? On each row we will have same schema. So let me take 0 index. So if I want to get the keys, so I can say like object dot keys, and here I can give items of 0. And now I can add one for each loop, and let's say key, and now I can add all this value schema dot, it should be this dot schema, right? So this dot schema dot push, and here we need one is header. So header, let's say for now let's keep as a key only, and for field also let's keep it as a key only. We'll make changes after some time. So now I'm having a key and value in my schema. So I can use this property to remove this static data. So let's begin for that. So now uh, I can remove all this static data, right? So let me remove this, and now let me add one for loop. So I am looping through our schema object, right? And here I can give expression, and under that I can say call dot header. And similar to that, let me first comment this. We will handle this later, so let me comment this first, and let's remove this two line. And here again I can add same loop, and here I will say album, and under the album what we need is call dot field. So that's all. Now let's see what we are getting in the browser. So still I can see the data in the browser, but now my title is not as it was coming earlier, and now again I am not getting my image, and also I am getting additional URL also, right? So I don't want to show this URL, only I want to show that thumbnail URL. Okay, so how can I exclude this? So that is also very simple. Let's go to our component.ts. So when we are pushing this value, then here I can add one filter, and let's say this filter to, and let's say dot to lower. So it's saved. Now again go back, and now I am not getting URL. Okay, so our one problem is resolved. The second is this name is not coming correctly. So suppose if I want to make this name different than key, so then I can add some condition, right? Let me do only for one. If key equals to maybe let's check thumbnail URL. So if key is this, then what I want is else I will keep key for now. Okay, we can extend this as per our requirement, but to showcase this I'm just doing it for one key. So now we can see that our my header is also fixed. So one more thing which I want to fix is I want to add this image here. I don't want to show this URL instead. So let's make this change. So for that, let me go to our HTML, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one condition. Uh, Let me wrap this under with maybe we can say like span tag under span. Let me wrap this, and let's say if I want to, if call dot field equals to, and let's say not equals to. Okay, and what I want is let me see here. So this thumb URL. So what I'm doing is I'm adding one if condition. If it is not thumb URL, then let's display this. If it is thumb URL, then I don't want this span tag to render. But I want opposite condition for my image. If it is thumb URL, then I want image. So let me add this condition. Let me copy this. Oh, and let's say it like equals to. Save this, and hopefully now I should see my image also. So let's verify. Okay, so there are some issue at my HTML. Yeah, so I need to close this also, right? Let me save this. And now I can see my image. So now we are done with the dynamic binding for our primeng table. But how can I add sorting on my dynamic column? So let's start for that also. So let's go to primeng, and here we have different examples, right? First we open that basic example. Now let's open this sorting example. So for this sorting, we need to add this directive, right? So in this directive, we need to pass the key. So let me copy this, and yeah, in the header ts tag. So here I can add this directive, and as I am getting it dynamically, so I can say like so it is saved. Now go back, and we need this icon also, right, to display. So let me copy this, and so yeah, that's all. Let's save this. So this is only two change required to add a sorting. So let's verify that in our table. Let me open my browser window, and now I can see this sorting icon. So let me try to sort by ID. Let me click here. So as we have many records, it's taking a little time. So let's wait for sorting, and I can see it's sorting. Let me sort with the title. Yeah, so our sorting is also working with the dynamic column. So I will share this example in the description blog. You can find that stackblitz link. And that's all I have for this video. Thank you for much watching.